there and welcome to class today. I'm so glad that you're here. Today's class we're going to work through some foundational movements that are really going to set you up for success as we move through the 3 weeks of our Move It series. So in this class we're going to start laying down on our back. So roll out your mat and get comfy or lie down. And we just have our knees bent with our feet flat on the ground, and we're going to pop our hands down beside us and just line up your body so that your feet are pointing straight ahead and they're level. And then I just feel a little bit of weight through the back of the pelvis. I notice that there's a little space or a little curve of the small of my back, so there's a lightness there in the low back. I feel like the ribs are settling down, like there's a bit of a weight there on the upper back. And shoulders nice and open. Okay. The first thing we're going to start with is a little move of the pelvis. So we're actually going to just touch our lower back in towards the mat and then go back to where we started from. So we're just tipping the pelvis towards us, as you can feel like the lower back is touching on the ground, and then just tip the other way so you're even. And as you do this, we try not to squeeze through the glutes. And it's just really a little small movement as you're just rocking there on your sacrum, on the lowest part of your spine, as you tip the pelvis towards you and then away. So you want it to feel nice and smooth. And I always find this activates my lower abdominals even more when my feet are light. So if you just have a really soft footprint on the ground, make the move really small. And it's really nice to breathe out when the pelvis comes towards you, when the pubic bone is towards your belly button, and then just breathe in when you're back to even, or even tip a bit more the other way so you've made a bit more of a space in the low back. So breathe out when the pubic bone is towards your belly, and then breathe in when your tailbone tips down towards the mat. So keep that going. Really nice way to get the lower back moving. And then just go back to where you feel like it's just the natural curve of your back, and we'll stay there. We're going to reach our fingers up to the ceiling now and give our shoulders a little stretch. So palms are looking in toward each other, and then we take our right arm and just reach it overhead and bring it back to fingers to point to the ceiling. Then the left arm overhead and back to the ceiling. Let's breathe out when the arm goes overhead and breathe in when it comes back up. This way, the exhale will help you soften the ribs and keep the ribs tucked down and soft. There's really a temptation to let the ribs flare up to help you get your arm back a bit further, but let's just think of keeping the ribs settled down as the arm reaches over. It doesn't matter if your hand doesn't touch the ground, as long as you're feeling that stretch in your shoulders. And I don't know about you, but I have one arm that goes to the ground more easily than the other. So when I get to my tricky side, I really have to concentrate on the ribs a little bit more. And then pause when both fingers are up to the ceiling. We take both arms overhead now. Over they go. Breathe out and breathe in. And arc the arms overhead. We'll do 2 more. And then we just place our arms back down on the floor. So now you can wiggle your fingers so your arms are feeling really long, reaching your fingertips towards your heels. The upper arm you can feel your upper arm down on the ground, the back of the ribs down. And we're going to tilt the pelvis just like we did before. So touch your lower back into the mat. And then from here, we're going to roll our hips up into a bridge. So just push down with your feet so your hips can lift up, and then reach your knees over your toes so you lift up as much as you can, creating a nice long line in your body from your knee to your shoulder. Keep reaching your fingers to your heels, and then let your body come back down onto the mat, bone by bone. And when you come all the way down, just let all that strong feeling in your body feel easy and soft. And then again, tilt the pelvis to start, and then you're going to push down with your feet, lift up the hips. So while your hips are lifting up, the ribs are still settling down in your body. Yeah. And then your chest is open, and then roll yourself back down. Think of laying your backbone down with length all the way back and down. Good. And again, moving smoothly through your spine so we can get each part of your back moving well. When you're at the top, I want you to hold it here. So I also think about the inner thighs, a little bit of connection there, so my knees aren't going out to the side. And then from here, I want you to breathe in. And then when you breathe out, that's when you start to roll down. So soften the chest. You can feel the mid-back touching down, the bottom of the ribs, the lower back, and then you're back to being even. Take a breath in once you touch down. And when you breathe out, tilt the pelvis and roll the hips up. Good. Stay there just for a moment so you can notice that you can feel your feet pressing down into the ground. Feel your hips lifting up. Feel the glutes working. Feel the ribs settling down. You feel your upper arms into the mat. And then you breathe in. And when you breathe out, you soften and you roll back down, creating space in your back, bone by bone, and all the way back and down. Good. Now, just leave your hips on the mat and fingers up to the ceiling again. We're going back to our shoulder movement. So we're going to take right arm overhead, left arm down beside us, and then fingertips back up to the ceiling, and then switch the other way. So strong straight arms and switch. Inhale when your fingers are up to the ceiling. Exhale when one arm goes overhead, one arm down beside you. Inhale back up. Strong, find precision with your movement. Remembering to breathe as you switch the arms. Inhale when they're back up to the ceiling. And then pause when your fingers are up to the ceiling. Right, we're going to leave our arms up there. Tilt the pelvis, so that's where you're touching your lower back to the mat, and lift the hips up into a bridge. All right, so we're going to hold our hips up here and scissor our arms. So one arm overhead, one arm down by your body, and back to the ceiling. Switch and back. So the trick is we're trying to keep the hips up and strong, so we're working. You can feel your glutes working. It's a little bit more unsteady because we don't have our arms on the floor helping us to have more stability, so that's good work for our body. Keep the hips up. Every time I think of the arms or I get a little tired, they drop down, so it's just lifting up, feeling that energy back of the legs. Try and keep your toes down. Keep going with that nice breath pattern, and just do one more each side. And then pause with your fingers up towards the ceiling. Really reach your arms up as your chest softens down, and then lay your body all the way back down, and then hands down beside you. What we'll do now is, actually, why don't you put your hands on your hips? I like keeping my awareness here for this next move. I'm going to just keep my right leg really steady and let my left knee go out to the side and then bring it back in. And then I'm going to keep my left side steady, so my right knee and thigh go out to the side, and then I bring it back and in. Keep going. We're alternating side to side. So when my right knee goes to the side, my left hip stays really heavy. I I try not to roll over to that side. So my pelvis stays still while I'm just taking one thigh out to the side. And I'm letting my foot roll, of course, onto the outer edge of my foot. And I'm breathing out when the knee goes out, just to help keep that strength through the center, and then inhale back. It'll help you find stability. And when I first started these moves, it was easy just to let it drop, but there's a much more benefit going with control, because then we're going to really work through our center and draw it back and in, rather than just let it flop out, bring it back. So nice and steady through the pelvis, getting that movement of the thigh in the hip joint, but without letting the hip roll right over with you. So exhale to go out, inhale back. I always think simple moves done really well are super effective. Good. And then we're going to walk our feet together. So now you can feel your ankle bones together and the joint of the big toe together. And we're going to glue our thighs together, glue our knees together. And from here, we're just going to take the knees over to one side. So one foot is actually going to come right up off the floor because my feet are staying glued together. And if you just peek down, check your knees are staying in line and then bring them back. Because that top knee will want to slip down the thigh, but you want to keep that top thigh reaching really long. And I only go over so far as I can keep the opposite shoulder on the ground. So this is another really nice one for your low back and for your waist. Keep your shoulders really dropping, heavy. So you don't go too far actually. And the breathing I'll do with this one today is inhale over, exhale back. Inhale over, and then I'm using my exhale to help find my waist, to drag the hips back and the pelvis back. Inhale over, and then use your breath out to draw everything back and in.